Welcome to another episode of Problematic the Podcast. What got in the building with me?
Got your boy BMAR man from Harrisburg, PA, 717. Stand up. Reoccurring guest. Glad to be here.
All right, it's the second time around, man. So the project's out now from the last time when you did the Sunday 16. If you don't change, you choose. Tell me what inspired that name. If you don't change, you choose, and how does that reflect on your personal journey?
Yeah, so the title really just stemmed from pretty much evaluating my life and realizing there's certain habits, certain situations, and even people that just kept reoccurring. And I was like, you know what? I don't need to be in the same situations anymore. If I'm not going to, like one of my older cousins told me, if you're not changing your situation, you're in a sense choosing to be there. So I just want to elaborate on that with the project and make an album conceptually that tied into the thought process of that, and see what I can make, man. And that's the project that we have. Took a year and a half, and I'm glad that we're finally here. You know what I mean?
Nice. Share with me your creative process behind this album and how it's different from the last one that you worked on.
Yeah. So this one is real therapeutic. Um, Typically when I make music, I just draw inspiration from things that I think inspire me sonically. But this one was real life growth and real life tribulations and trials that I had to pretty much figure out. So each song is just a puzzle piece to my healing, I guess you could say, and just how I was growing in that season.
Okay,
Um,
so this is a more therapeutic journey.
yeah, absolutely. And I did it in a sense too where it wasn't so first person to the point where listeners can't relate. So
Right.
the subject matter and like the words and the lyrics I use, they can apply to anybody going through a similar situation as well. So it's uh it's real relatable in that sense, you know.
Harrisburg has been a significant part of your music. In what ways does your hometown influence your sound or the stories in your new project?
Yeah, Harrisburg always, will have a special place in my heart. I've been doing a lot of more local shows there as well and just tapping in with the artists and the music scene around there. So, home is always going to be an influence in a sense. It's always going to have a place in your heart. Um, Musically, sonically, I wouldn't say it inspired me the most,
Okay.
but just growing up and pulling from certain situations that I was going through that occurred in this city definitely has a life of its own in the project in a sense. Um, so Harrisburg, yeah, I always have love for Harrisburg because I grew up there. Obviously, I'm from there, so um, it always hits home, a personal spot for me for sure.
Collaborations bring out new aspects of an artist. Talk about any collaborations you have on If You Don't Change, You Choose and how they contributed to the project.
Yeah, so we have, I want to say about four features. We have my homegirl Andrea Alexa. I
Okay.
believe she is out of Long Island, New York. I believe she lives somewhere else on the East Coast. She does the intro and the outro for the album, pretty much like narrates it. So she does a spoken word for it, and she just ties everything together conceptually and just makes it, you know, beautiful. Super dope poet and an artist as well. We have a song out as well together called "Give That Kid His Life Back." So she's just super artsy, super dope.
Okay.
Just angelic voice. We have my boy Official Heck, obviously, Gutter Rose Entertainment, co-owner. Me and him have our own label, our own independent label, based in New York. We got him on a song called "Still I Fall." My boy Iverson is on the lead single "Don't Want to Die Young." He came through with the hook. He's actually my barber too, which is funny.
Dope, man. Keep it in
Yeah,
house.
yeah. Nah, like to the most extent. Yeah, he was cutting my hair. He's like, "Yeah, I've been recording." I was like, "Word," and he played me a shit. I was like, "Dude, I need a hook ASAP," and we made that happen.
Fire.
And he gave me a dope cut too, so that's always nice. Um, we have my boy Cozy, based out of New York as well. He does a little outro voicemail at the end. Not really a feature, but just shows love because he was a recent friend I made in the past year while making this album, and his advice and our phone calls and when we link, he's always giving me wisdom. So I feel like that was essential to add him to it in some way.
I
I
dig
didn't
it.
want to force a collab, but just some type of energy from him to tell the story correctly and accurately. And who else do we have? I think that might be it. I just kept it kind of close, like real like tight with the collabs because I just wanted to get the message and the point across. I didn't want to force any like unnecessary collabs or anything that can throw the concept off. So yeah, we just kept it pretty in house, like you said, for the most part.
Nice.
Yeah,
Your lyrics on this album touch on, growth and transformation. You share a personal story from your life that inspired a track on the album?
yeah. There's a song called Broken Hearted that is about abortion pretty much, and the concept is I wanted to juxtapose the typical concept of the guy wanting the abortion and the woman wanting to keep it. I feel like that's kind of a common thread, not for everybody, but like in mainstream America, I guess.
Right.
And pretty much the song tied from a real situation I went through. I kind of added my own storytelling exaggeration on it, obviously for the art's sake. But the song is about the guy wanted to keep the baby and the woman feeling like she wants to live more of her life. And it's called Broken Hearted, and it did draw from a real experience that I went through with my past relationship, and that one was one of the first ones that made me like open the door to okay, I'm really gonna do an album about like healing and real life things that I'm going through. And I didn't intend to make that record. I didn't intend to make that song. Kind of just came out subconsciously, and that kind of planted the seed of the direction I wanted to go.
Right.
And just being bold enough to speak on that, and it really helped me like heal. To be honest, like super therapeutic, and be surprised. Music is super healing and super therapeutic, man. So that one for sure. Another record called "Don't Want to Die Young," like I mentioned, with Iverson. My sister passed when I was younger. I was about 3, she was 5, so I'm not too conscious of it. I can't recollect like memories,
Okay.
so it doesn't hit me like too deeply.
Right.
Thank God, which it still hits me though, because family, my mom, and etc. But that song is just about the perspective of I don't want to die young as well, and then kind of like feeling survivor's guilt almost about there's certain children that don't deserve that, and like why am I here still when I'm fucking up or when I'm doing things that I feel guilty of, and just making an anthem about wanting to live though at the end of the song. It's like okay, I need to be here for a reason, and I shouldn't feel guilty. I should feel grateful and acknowledge what I need to do moving forward to live life uh, guilt free. So yeah, there's a lot of songs on the album pertain from real life experience and draw from that. But those two for sure, are like the biggest two I'd say for
Dope.
sure. Yeah,
Visuals play a big part in how music is received today. Can you delve into the concept behind the visual aesthetics of your latest projects, promotional materials?
yeah,
Like I think I did see a visual of you and your sister. Now that you mentioned that,
yeah,
yeah, just talk about it.
yeah. That was yeah, definitely. You're referring to the "Don't Want to Die Young" video, just VHS home videos. Um, drawing from real experiences, like real events and stuff. So I wanted to just keep this one like get to know Brandon more. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Okay.
I'm BMAR, I'm the artist, but I really want people to dive into like Brandon and the psyche of just who I am. And just the human aspect of me. As artists, it is our job to be a brand and be an artist and be a influence and somebody people look up to in a sense. But I just wanted to get back to the human side of me and really show people that look, I go through shit just as much as you, maybe even more, like we all do. So I didn't want this album to be meant to glorify me in a false sense. I really just wanted to show my human side. And visually, I wanted to capture that too with like the VHS clips and just me struggling with whether it was drinking or whether it was lust or doing things that weren't serving me. I wanted to just show that and be raw and bare in that sense to show people, hey, look, like it's not always pretty all the time,
Right.
and it's not always the rap life or whatever people want to label that. Just be transparent, pretty much. And just be honest. And I always love putting my family in the visuals and drawing from real life situations. So I'd say that, just not forcing nothing, just pulling from like documenting versus creating. I just want to document,
I dig it
you know.
for sure. In what ways do you think your sound has evolved since your first appearance on our podcast?
Oh yeah. Definitely,
Wasn't that long ago.
yeah, yeah. I feel like it did in some ways. Just more I feel like it's more free, more less intentional, kind of just like letting life guide me in the studio as opposed to going in and trying to craft the greatest shit ever. Like I've seen a lot of Rick Rubin interviews and like people like that with that mystic mindset of just letting things come to you and not
Right.
trying to force things. The universe and God, whatever you call it. And I've been more free in that sense, and I kind of try to kill my ego off when creating this album specifically. Um, Sometimes you got to do things that you don't want to do to fulfill your purpose, and not, and you have to kind of let your ego take a seat and remind it, hey, look, I know you want to do this song right now, but we have a mission to accomplish. We have a concept to convey. You have to like kind of take the back seat behind your intuition, and it's a time and place for everything though. Not everything is super deep all the time, but for this album, I really wanted to 100% juice all the personal perspective. So I've had to like really be real myself and take a back seat creatively sometimes, and just whether it was stripped down production, whether it was stripped down verses, for storytelling's sake, not always try to be so lyrical, but just be more transparent and just make sure you get the message across and make the song the best product possible. So I'd say I humbled myself to do that for this album.
For sure.
I'd say that, yeah.
For sure. For sure. Music streaming platforms have changed the way artists release music. Has your strategy for releasing, if you don't change, you choose, adapted to any of this, any of the ways people release music, or you just go ahead and drop it with the big guys and tell people it's out?
Yeah. Uh, Definitely adapted. In 2023, I dropped 24 songs, so that was like my. Oh, you're good, brother. That was kind of like my promo prior to the album. I wanted to feed and flood, algorithms, Spotify, data, all that. You have to be mindful of that stuff, like you said, like the new ways of delivering music. And so yeah, 2023 was the singles solely focused on that. But in the midst of that, I was working on the album the whole time. I was working on it. I was saving songs and putting the project together as well as delivering singles and staying consistent. And then prior to the album, I dropped a single, a EP before, and another lead single a week before that I just sporadically wanted to do. So yeah, I'd say consistency and relevancy and sharpening the sword, even just being in the studio and staying sharp. I definitely just implemented that because I knew when the album comes, I'm gonna be sitting with it for a while. So I wanted to deliver as much as possible beforehand.
Right.
Yeah, it's necessary. It's good to put things out to stay relevant, but you also want to put out good things. You want to make sure that your skills are growing as your catalog is growing too. You don't want to just put out records because, oh, I want to stay relevant. I want to hit the algorithm. You want to make sure that your music's evolving with the consistency, the same rate.
Right.
It's easy to get lost in that for sure.
For sure. For sure.
You know.
Tell me about a particular track on this project that was challenging to make.
Yeah. The most challenging song that I probably made on this album, I probably had to say "Broken Hearted." Um, it wasn't the process of making it, but it was the after effect of like, do you really want to put this out? Like, do you want to be this transparent? Do you really want to talk about like abortion? Do you really want to ruffle feathers maybe, or have people mad, or And
No, I think you say the objective is to make people think.
yeah,
I don't want you know when people get mad at you. Like just think like this person's not in your shoes, or you're not always in their shoes, or how it happened for your friend, or how it happened for you. It's not. It's never going to be the same. You know what I mean? So the object is to make people think. Like, damn,
yeah,
this is a situation that I've been through or I've seen, and it didn't happen this way. Or these, like you said, these characters' roles were reversed, or
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, 100%.
I don't ever think you're gonna make people mad if it's good music. It's just
Yeah,
always gonna make them think.
100%. Yeah, and that's primarily what I wanted people to do with this album. Just think, and if it applies to them, use it, and made it timeless for that reason. So yeah, I'd say "Broken Hearted" was definitely one that made me just think a little bit. But obviously, I went with my gut and I put it out, and I'm glad I did, for sure. But the rest of the album was pretty seamless. Like I said, I just listened to my intuition and let it guide me. That's
Right.
why it took a year and a half too, because you don't always get those moments all the time. So pretty seamless process, to be honest.
What role
So
does fan feedback play in your creative process?
yeah, fan
Now that
feed.
we're talking about it, like
Yeah,
say somebody did get mad at a track, it was
hmm
like, man, fuck you, Brandon.
yeah, yeah. Fan feedback is important. It's necessary. You got to be mindful of it.
Right.
I pay attention to what people like the most from me, and I'm grateful and I'm in a dope position to where people do like things that I like to do, like the lyricism, storytelling, even the melodies. And that's why in 2023 I was so keen and intentional with dropping different varieties of music and genres because I put out two reggae songs. I put out a shit ton of R&B records to get people prepped and used to like my sound.
Right.
Because if I was to just drop all Illmatic type songs and I come out with the R&B album, people are gonna be like turned off or like confused. So
They didn't see this coming.
yeah, right. It's like shock value, and that can either be good or bad depending on what people like. But that's why in 2023 I was like, look, I'm gonna show y'all what I do. I'm a producer. I'm an artist. I like all types of music. I like reggae. I like rock. I like R&B. I like raps. I like soul samples. I like everything. So when the album came, let's put all that together, put it in one thing, and people are like, oh, okay, cool. We just got the best of every world now. So fan feedback is important, and I try my best to like train my listeners' ears and like get them used to what we're about to do. But sometimes as an artist, you got to take a risk. Like 808s and Heartbreak, that was a risk. You know, Pimp a Butterfly was a risk. And and sometimes as an artist, you can't even think what people think. You have to just really factor in what I need to do right now as an artist, and that's the beauty of it too. Taking that risk and executing what's inside of you. Sometimes you just got to block out all the noise and do it. And it's challenging, but it's so intense and it's awesome. It's a dope feeling when you trust your gut and that shit works. It's an amazing feeling, man. Like shout out Tyler the Creator and like all those dudes who like push boundaries, man. And like the Neptunes in the early days, like those dudes, dude, like they're artists, you know. And
Right.
even back to the '60s, man, like '70s Marvin Gaye and all them doing different things when a certain style of music was popular and coming out with that, the origin of hip hop. You know, change is good. You know, change is good.
If you don't change, you choose.
I was literally gonna say like a pun with that, but I was like, I'd be contradicting my whole concept if I said that was dope.
So, what's the message you hope your listeners take away from If You Don't Change, You Choose? And why is it so important for you to convey this message now?
Yeah, the message primarily for this one is like you said earlier, you hit a spot on to think, think about situations in your life that you may need to adjust and tweak a little bit and change. And ask yourself if you're really happy with your situations. Ask yourself, yo, am I straight mentally? Are the people around me cool? Am I in a positive environment? Am I chasing something that's worth it? I just wanted to plant that seed in the listeners and to the world. Ask yourself checks and balances here and there, maybe every week. Am I is everything all right? Cool. This is good. Family's good. They're good. I'm straight. Just have people think. And also, aside from all that, just enjoy the music, man, and enjoy a timeless body of work that you can live with and ride with and cry to and live to and laugh to and just enjoy, man. Definitely want to just empower people and better people as well as myself because that's where it all starts. I'd say that, man. Just think a little bit and question yourself and become the best version of you. I'd say.
So, tell people where to find this project at.
Sir, you can find If You Don't Change, You Choose everywhere, all streaming platforms. BMAR is my name, BMAR, all caps. If You Don't Change, You Choose, the full album out now. We got the deluxe dropping soon. All DSPs, man, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. We got some videos coming out as well. A lot of press, a lot of exclusive merch. Just everything catered to the project, man. And it's an experience, and this is a chapter that I want to live in for a while. So I'm excited to have y'all for the ride, man. And I'm gonna be here for a while.
Dope, dope, exclusive merch. Nigga, send me a t-shirt.
I got you. Come on, man. Got you.
Appreciate you for coming by, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.